Hey friends, Shawn here with Manly Made Minute, and welcome back to my channel and episode 2 of Kendra's card challenge number 17 for February. We're doing cards 6 through 10 today, and I'm really kind of excited. I'm getting out a Gina K stamp that I've used maybe 2 times. It's a beautiful stamp, and I'm going sympathy cards on this set because of the stamp set is kind of a sympathy card stamp set. We're just going to do all 5 in sympathy cards because it's one of those cards that I don't think we always have on hand, and I don't think right now have any on hand. So I'm just going to make 5 sympathy cards. I think the design of this designer series paper that we did that I'm carrying throughout those first 5 cards is perfect. They're just nice and subtle. They're beautiful. They're neither happy. They're just kind of an in-between really nice set of papers. So before I head down and get started, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Would love to have you follow along on YouTube. You can find me at Manly Made Minute on Instagram, where I post my card hops and things like this as well, and other things that you don't find on YouTube. So let's just get started. And this first one, I'm going to do a little different without a sentiment on the outside. I'm putting something on the inside, which I don't do very often, to be honest. But here's what we're working with today. We're going to work with the Fancy Feathers Stamps and Die set by Gina K. Beautiful set. It does come with the dies, which we're going to use, but not on every card. And then the sentiments. Beautiful sentiments. Better days are ahead. Feathers appear when angels are near. Heaven gained another angel. Let go of what's weighing you down. Hope is the feather that reminds us we have wings. So I just thought, just a beautiful one to kind of do 5 cards with. All my card bases today are going to be from Cardstock Warehouse, the Almost Perfect Gray. So this is a variety pack of different grays, and I love these variety packs if you just need a couple different colors of grays, couple different colors of a different color, or multicolor pack. Get their Almost Perfect packs. They're not perfectly, but they're pretty dang close, and they're just a variety. There's like 3 or 4 different grays in this pack. I'm using the lightest gray that's on top here. Doesn't tell you the names of these, but this is from the Almost Perfect pack. All right, that's going to be all 5. I am going to put a piece in the middle to write on because it is this gray, and I just thought I need a little white piece. So we're going to start with my inside on this card, and you can see number 6. This is the design we're going for on this first card. Here's all my pieces pre-cut, ready to go, and we're going to stamp on this one, and we're going to stamp on the inside. So inside, I have preset 1 feather in the middle and 1 little one in the corner that mimics that same shape. We're just going to stamp these out and put my sentiment over the top of this big feather. So I'm going to stick with my color theme of these papers, which is a gray, a lavenderish, purple, a pink, there's white, and a green. So I have got my Martini, my Cotton Candy, and my Serene by Catherine Pooler. So I'm going to do an ombre on this feather, just probably one color on this feather. And this one here, I'm going to pull some green in because I just want a little extra green. There's not a lot of green in the paper, so I'll just pull a little extra onto the inside. Then I'm going to ombre. We're going to go in rainbow order, so it's going to go this way. So we'll start with my Cotton Candy, then my Martini, then my Serene. I'm just going to start at the base and ombre this up. Okay, so I'm just making sure I got a good amount of ink on there and just tapping this up towards that middle. Now I'm going to take an overlap in that middle, tapping this out. Okay, then that Serene, I'm going to start on the tip of it and then just tap that down into the green. I'm going to go back over my pink just a little bit. All right, well, let's just tap that down. Nice light colors. I don't want bright, and I don't need too bright on these. I just want a nice soft color on these, like so. And this should be a 1 and done. That looks nice. That looks really nice. Got a little muddy right there in the middle, but we're going to go with that because my sentiment's going to cover in that middle anyway. So let's just remove my feathers here. Actually, you know what? I might keep the feathers right there for now. I'm not sure if I'm going to put this on the other cards. So we're going to scoot this down. Let's make sure that doesn't hit. Oh, that's going to hit. So we're going to remove them. I was just going to try to keep that there and do my sentiment. But let's see. We're going to go with... I think we're going to go haven't gained another angel. Or, I know I like feathers appear when angels are near. Let's do that. And we're just going to go this in black so it pops out. Plus this one, the way this lays out, goes over my mucky muck a little bit in that middle brownish color. Where that got a little muddy on me. And so I'll cover that up. Just make sure I got it good and straight, and I'm trying to make sure I can cover as much of my mucky muck as possible. And I'm sorry if my head's in the way. I'm just making sure I'm kind of as straight as possible there. We'll pick that up. And I'm going to just prime it. I have not used this one yet. I'm using VersaFine on this one because it is kind of a finer detail sentiment. And on my finer detail ones, I like my VersaFine. It just lays on these finer sentiments a little nicer. I'm not going to squish. I'm just going to give it a little tap. And we might have to do another one. I'm going to do one more. It's pretty clear, but we're going to do one more. Like so. And that's my inside. Okay? So there's my inside. We're going to set this over to dry. Let's just move this out of my way. Okay, now what I'd like to do is on this piece, which is this black piece here, the little white piece, I cut a little gray, darker gray background for that. So the black piece is white. I'm going to just stamp feathers over the top of this, okay? And just have my own created designer series paper is all I am doing on this one. Just have my own pattern paper stuck in there, okay? So now I'm just going to just kind of randomly grab some of these feathers. And I want some with some good, decent, I like the patterns on these. So I'm going to go feather in the middle and then feather on the outside corners. That's how I think we're going to do it would be the easiest way to do this. So just pick that up. And now I think I'm going to not do all three colors, but I'm going to do my pink and greens. Okay. Like so. Actually going to do pink and purple, and then I'll switch it up on the other two. Pink and purple on this one. And I'm just tapping it so it kind of blends where they meet. That's all I'm doing. Again, not good bright colors. These are just nice and soft and serene. Nice impression on that. I'm going to leave it. That's actually a good impression. All right. Now I'm just going to grab, I wonder if I should just use the same one. I think I'm going to use the same one because this folds into itself really nice. Nope. Actually, I'm not. I want to go a little opposite. So now I got to find one that's going to give me opposite, which is going to be, I think, this one. Let's see here. That one actually falls in the crevice really good too. And then I can grab the corners if I have to with something else. So that one actually curves in there nice. So we're gonna go with this one just because I like how that curves into that. I just lightly pick it up so it doesn't move my paper as much since I'm not tucking it up into the corners. So I did pink and purple. Let's do a purple and green. So now I'm going to go purple at the base so it's not quite close to the other one. The way this is going to lay out, and you'll see. And then just bring that purple up just a little bit. So I try to do purples opposite of each other if you can see that. I can zoom in actually a little bit too on this. Beautiful. All right, let's just move this one now to the other corner. I'm going to keep this one the same, and then we'll do We'll go this way because that'll lay right in there, just beautiful. So now we'll do pink and green. Like so. Add a little more pink in there. And then I'll just grab something in those corners. Go a little more pink, just to brighten that pink up a little. There we go. All right, now we'll just grab something in these corners. And there are some small ones on here that I think I'll add into that. They just don't have design on them, so they're more outline. But we're going to grab those on the corners. So I'm going to grab the one that I had on the inside, which will work perfect because then that kind of brings that pattern in just a little bit. And now I'm just going to do solid color on these. I'm going to go a pink on one side and a purple. So since this is pink, I'm going to go purple on this bottom one, and we'll go pink on that corner. And once this is stamped, this is it. Then we will assemble this card. I'm going to bring this down and then just go the tip right in there, just to get a little bit more filler on that. So now we're going to go the pink. And then I'm just going to rotate this like so, so I can get just a little bit there with that tip right there. All right, I am gratefully happy for that. Really, really happy for that. Okay, let's just take this out. We're going to move this aside. Let me just make sure I've got a nice clean surface here. Get my stamps out of the way, and let's start assembling. Let's put this on the inside here first. And I'm just debating, I might add, I'm going to take a little bit of pink. Just a little bit of pink. I'm actually just going to take my lightest pink brush that I have. Nope, I'm going to do purple because I got a purple paper on the front. Lightest purple one that I have. I'm just going to not ink this up again. I'm going to use what's left on my brush and just give it a little halo of whatever's on here. I'm not, if it's light, it's light. Just to give it a little color around the edge here. Frame this out. And it's still light enough that there's room to write. You can still write on this. It's not too dark. So just kind of remembering, you know, if somebody's going to write on the inside of this, it's light enough to do that. Oh, yeah, that just frames that out just a tweak, doesn't it? Okay, let's add this to the inside. And then we'll just work on that outside to assemble. Like so. We'll let that dry. Alright, this is my front piece. So this is the black paper that we have Liberty on for this whole piece here. So these two pieces, if you look at the pattern here, you zoom out, so I have room here, are the yellow pieces that are going to go top and bottom. Okay, so I'm going to space these out first. And I actually went wrong way. When I laid this out, I can see my number written on the back, so this should be the green here actually, with the scripty. It's a scripty pattern paper. So, and I love that. I love the stamps of the scripty stamps too. Right? So, just going to give this even border on all three edges for that one. And same thing, use the scripty side. It's hard to catch that. I always feel it because I love this side of the paper. If you label them, make sure you're putting your labeled sides down so that you know which paper was supposed to be with what as you cut these out. And actually it doesn't matter. I know it truly doesn't matter. But I'm trying to do this to the way I cut them because I think it's fun to discover how this lays out. Alright, now we have these two little pieces like this that are going to go here with this over the top. So I'm going to actually, because I am not putting a sentiment on here, I'm going to decide, do I want to do this popped up or this glued down and this popped up, or pop them both up? And I'm actually going to pop both of them up, I think, and see how this lays out. So this is not for this one. That was for 11. So I'm actually going to need to cut a 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 square for this. And so I'm going to go with that light purple that I have to match. So 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. Cut this quick here. I didn't catch that one that I missed, but that's all right. It still is going to work. 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. Okay, let's just make sure I got a frame. Yep, that works. I'm just going to trim that edge just a tiny bit off of there. And then assemble. Okay. So this one gets glued onto this one. This is the little gray piece right there in the middle with this DSP square on that. Like so. Okay. This one is the black that I'm going to put on the white, which is I made gray. I just brought in a little darker gray, so it just to give a little extra color because it matches the gray of the DSP. And I need to trim this just a tiny bit. Just shave a tiny bit off of that one. I need to recut that piece. It's ripped on me. Stand by. Three, two, one. Okay, I've recut my little gray piece that tore on me, and I've matted this down. So we're going to throw this one up on dimensionals. Like so. Gotta always have some sort of dimension on my stuff, whether it be actual dimensionals or whether it be texture. And I decided not to throw sentiment on here because of this layout on the front. And, you know, to center it on that little square in the middle. So this way it just leaves this just real simple on the inside with a little bit of that feather theme to carry that feather and the sentiment to tie together on the inside. So a little different than what I've done with, I would say, almost all my cards that I ever do, because usually I throw something on the inside and no sentiment on, or something on the outside, no sentiment on the inside. So, all right, let's tack this down. Then those two little pieces are going to go on either side of this and tuck underneath. So I'm going to put my little pieces that I have here on the side so that I can still tuck that little piece in. Center that. Just like so. Bring that down just a little bit. Here we go. Now these little pieces will go on either side. So get my tweezers to tuck those under. And now because I've raised this up, I've got to modify my stripe that's going across here. And I probably could have put that underneath, but these are going to be there. But that's okay. I'm going to just put it across here so that it belly bands for that small piece that's going to go there. All right, center these. Just like so. Last time I always forgot to put these on and I had to rip it apart, and I am remembering this time. It's like there's the advantage of doing these multiple times is from time to time you can go, I remember I had to do this the last time and now I'm not going to do it this time. Straighten that out just a tiny bit so it looks like they're going across. That worked out perfect. That really worked out perfect. Now let me just belly band this piece, and I'm going to just keep it to the white. So I am just going to mark and cut that really quick. Like so. And we're going to tack this little piece, belly band that down before I put my other little square on top. And I'm going to line it up, center it to these other two pieces. Like so. And actually, I'm not going to, I think I'm going to glue that down. I don't think I need another dimension on that. Now that I have it on there, I don't need it. I think that's too much and it looks too like a building stacked up. So we'll keep this one flat. And center it up, down, and sideways. Like so. And then this will go right over the top of the card base. And we will have card number 6. That script just looks so good. I love that scripty backgrounds, whether it's stamped or DSP like this. I just love that. It adds just a little touch of elegance to it. Okay, let me just double check. I've got those two pieces. I've got my purple for the black piece there. I've got my DSP for the black piece there. The white is my little gray, and my two little squares, my belly band. And then those two pieces I actually lined up, and I did not do one over the other. I just lined it up so it went across. That is it. There you have it. Card number 6. All right. We're going to start card number 7. Here's our layout. So we've got our DSP pieces. The black pieces are at our Liberty. So 3.5-inch half circle, black mat behind. So black mat behind, I'm going to stick like I did on card 6. And we're going to do my nice light lavender. That goes with my DSP pieces over here. And then I'm going to stick with that same light card base that we started with at the beginning. And we're going to put a piece in the middle to write on. Let's just start with that circle piece, and I'm going to do the same as I did on the first card. I'm going to make my own circle DSP. So I did about little over 3.5 inch circle with a stitch die, and we're going to just stamp this with some feathers and then cut that out as my background. So same colors I'm carrying over, and I'm going to pull in, I think, my pinks and greens. No, let's do some purple. So we're going to do pink and maybe one of each. Or nope, I take that back. Purple and green because of this. Look at that. I can't decide until I get there. I'd probably change my mind if I had this predetermined anyway. I'm not going to ombre this. I'm going to keep these just solid this time, just to keep it a little different. And these ones, yeah, I'm not going to double stamp that at all. So there's the one, and I might just kind of keep this going in a circle, actually. Let's just see if that'll work. I'm not sure if that's going to work. Yeah, actually that might work, because then I can go and throw something in between there for the little tips of it. So I'm just rotating it till I get past the design. A little bit more. Perfect. And then I'll throw something in there. So now I'm going to go with my green on this one. And just probably rotate this enough one more time to get a pink in there. And if I can rotate this one more and see if that'll fit in there to get a pink. That's actually going to work. It slightly touches in the middle there, but that's okay. So we're going to do a pink, and then I'm going to rotate this and get something right there in the little nooks and crannies of that. And we're going to do this last one, my cotton candy pink. And let's see. I'm going to do one more impression on, just very light impression on that one to pop that. I'm happy with that. All right, now let's just take one of my smaller ones. These are the outline feathers. Let's see which one I want here. I've got this outline, we've got this one, this one. I like how the tip of this one kind of curls in. So let's just throw that right in there. This would probably work on a wreath builder kind of thing. Let's hold that down, and since right there we're going to go green. Love it. Here we'll go pink. So let's just see where that falls. I might have to move that in just a tiny bit. So let's just clean that off, reposition that, because this one's a little bit bigger right in here. This is going to be pink. That actually worked out perfect, actually, for just color combo and everything. And then I'll just reposition that and do this last one with some purple. If you kind of just lightly tap that to pick it up, it won't move your paper as much either. All right, we'll cut this in half for that half circle. I've pre-done my sentiment already, and I'll show you the layout of this. The sentiment here showing on a little banner. I just took to mimic my circle and cut this on a very faint pink so I can get it close to match to that, and just did Better Days Ahead from the same feather stamp set that's going to overlay on those that other circle. So there's my half circle. Love how that turned out. Love, love, love it. All right. Let's throw these down. So my little pieces on top, my bigger pieces on the bottom. So we'll throw these pieces down first. It's always easier with these pieces like this to go top and bottom, center, in the middle. And then I always just make sure I got even edge around here. My label was on this side, so it's supposed to be my scripty side, turning my script so it's up the right way. And now I'm just making sure I've got even amount of border on those three edges. Like so. Okay, I'll do the same thing here now. I just turn it, it's easier for me to do it from the top. Like so. Alright. Same thing. I'm going to make sure I just got even border on 3 edges. There we go. Now this little strip goes right in the middle, slightly overlaps. Actually, it fits just perfect. Actually, that was spot on. I don't know if I've hit anything so spot on like that before, especially putting pieces together with DSP like this. That fits like a puzzle piece. This is from the scrappyboy.com Blonde Ambition set. Wonderful set of paper, by the way, and stamp. I got the stamp set too, the Madonna stamp set from them. Man, oh man, I love that combo. Love, love, love it. Okay, this is going to set right here. I got a little lip on that because that paper's thicker. So this is going to set right there. And I'm debating, I'm going to just leave that, I think. Yeah. I was debating if I should put a little frame on that or not, and we're going to leave it. I think I've got enough layers of texture and paper on here. So that goes down like so. Then my sentiment, of course, we're going to pop that up. Now, compared to what I've done in the past with some of these cards, no flowers cutting out, nothing like that. I will be cutting out some die cuts of these feathers when I get to a bigger panel, which is going to be on card number 8. We're going to cut out a couple of those and pop those up for my dimension, but no florals to pop up. Keeping these pretty simple for my sympathy cards, to be honest. Don't need too fancy crazy. You know, we don't need it to overpower the true message of this. So keeping them pretty simple. And then I'm just going to center this over my card and the middle banner here. Like so. Give that just a little tweak. This is going to go down on the card base. How easy was this one? Like crazy easy on this one. Man, that is just the softness of this with that message just is how that just gives you a little peaceful, serene feel, doesn't it? Like a little softness. And now you take these, like honestly, like do you take these and do we add a little embellishment to them? But let's just do that. Let's just take a little bit of my purple Nouveau drops. Actually, I'm going to keep it soft. We're going to go this nice soft. This is pale gold. Then I don't have too much color in that gold. Oh, it has a little shimmer to it. So we're going to go. I'm going to do my corners on this one, and then we'll throw something on this one. Let's just do opposite corners. This way, this will just add a little something extra without overpowering. Yeah, I like these. I love Nouveau drops. I think they're always just enough to give you a little something. Because your bling doesn't always have to be shiny sequency, right? Oh yeah, that was perfect. I actually might do, I think I'm going to do right around here. I'm going to do just some little sets of 3 throughout this little piece here. And fill in some of that white space at the same time. So we're going to do little trios on this little baby. We're going to go here, fill in some of that white, but white space is okay. According to Kathy Zilski, we got a white space is okay. I think there, and then I'm going to add it down here. So that I get my trio of trios. And then we'll go on either side of this sentiment. I love that. That was just actually perfect. When I looked in my bucket and I grabbed the purple, this is what I grabbed. And then I saw this one sitting in there and was like, no, it needs this. It matched. All right, one last thing. So here's the outside of card number 7. I'm going to set this aside so I don't smudge these. All I want to do is carry those feathers to the inside of my panel. So this is my inside panel that I'll glue once that dries now, since I jumped ahead of myself and did that. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take that same feather that I did on that circle, and I'm just going to go one feather right here in that corner. And I'm going to, because I've got some pinks on there, I'm going to just bring in that green, but I'm going to go very light. I don't want to oversaturate this step. I just lightly tapped it. I just want that faint on the inside. Yeah, and it's almost textured, didn't a full imprint. Actually got a little heavy on this side, but I like that actually. So that's it. I'm going to glue this on the inside of that once that Nouveau Drops dries. So there you go, card number 7. All right, we're back for card number 8. Extremely simple design on this one, and you can probably guess what we're going to do. So the background here, this light gray is going to be my purple, so same one, right? The white here is at my Liberty. We're going to do some DSP, but I'm going to cut one of them out because this die set comes with dies for those feathers, and then DSP behind that. And I've added my object, so that's going to be my sentiment. What I've done is I've pulled another piece of paper, different design, from that Craft Consortium 6x6 book that I'm using for these cards, but I went a deeper gray with just a little bit brighter pattern of florals, and cut that out as my background with that pale pink that I used on the last card for my sentiment. And that's going to be my object, any object right there, because I thought that would match to the last card, match to the paper, and bring that sentiment in. And then of course I'm going to have to add some Nouveau Drops when we're done. So first thing I want to do before we assemble is let's just stamp out this DSP. So I've cut that white cardstock here, which is 3" by 4", and I've centered in the feather that I want to use. All right, I like this one that has the little curl on the end of it. There are 3 dies that come with the stamps for the feather. So this was one of them, this was one of them, and then this was one of them. And I just like the elegance of that one. So we're going to go with that feather and die cut that one out to pop it up. And then we're going to obviously go around it. So if I look at my theme here, this is the only DSP paper on here, which has got greens and purples, and then purple and green. I'm not going to go green because I don't want green on green too much here, so I'm going to do this one purple to bring that purple from the back to the front, and a little bit of pink because I've got that pink back here. Okay, so we're going to use those same colors, my Serene and my Cotton Candy, right? And we're just going to go, I'm going to prime this one. I think I've used this one before, but let's just make sure. So we'll prime that and get a good impression. And I'm going to do, let me zoom out just a little bit here for you. Other way. All right, there we go. I'm going to do the purple at my base. Just like so, tap that up. And then the pink at the top, and just blend those in. And I'm going to bring that purple right to the back again, like so. And this is going to be the one now that I'm going to cut out. Nice impression. I don't think I'm going to do that one twice. Isn't it funny how sometimes you get that good impression that first time? Sometimes you got to do it 2 or 3 times, or just, you know, depends on pressure, I think, too. But I think my inks are relatively fresh and juiced up because I've refilled most of these lately because I haven't done that for a while. All right, now I'm going to take this one here of this stamp that I have not used yet. It's a little thinner. And then I'm going to throw this one over here like so, and over here like so, and then I'll go across there. Okay, so I'm going to rotate this so that I can get this one in here like this. And let's just see, I might just go right like so. So it kind of goes around that there. This one I'm going to do purple. I'm going to just do purple on both of these ones because I want to bring that purple forward just a little bit from the design. Okay, so tap that one in there. Not sure if it'll work, but let's just try rotate it and see if that works. Probably won't because I think it's going opposite. Oh, it kind of does. I'm actually going to bring it in just a little bit into the corner there. That was close, almost without having to move that one, but we're going to bring that in just a little bit to wrap just here a little bit more. Actually, I'm going to really rotate that out because I want that to come in this way. And then, well, no, I want this similar, so I should have kept it. There's nothing wrong with trying, though, right? Like you gotta, if I would have stamped this, I would have, shoulda, coulda, woulda, and then there. But I like this to be like, I like this, so I'm gonna keep that, and I'm gonna keep this. Wonder if I should go pink. I'm gonna go pink. I'm looking at my color combo. No, I'm gonna go purple. My gut told me the first time I'm gonna go purple to bring more purple forward. I'm gonna stick with it. It doesn't always need to be variegated. That's my problem, is sometimes I feel like I want to add too much. So we're just going to keep this one purple, so that middle one is slightly different than the rest. That way it pops up a little bit better. Yeah. Now I'm going to go just a little one there. I'm going to change this up just a little bit. There is... I think I'm going to not do anything with design. I'm going to pull this one that I have not used yet. It's just an outline one, but it's a little bit longer. And pull it in on these corners. And we'll go purple on these too. I'm just going to go monotone. We're going to stick with the gut on this and just not change this up as I go. Now I wonder if I can rotate this and just pop that in. Perfect. It works out perfect. Love that when that happens, and not have to reposition. Love it. I'm happy with that, actually. I feel like it's kind of, those are falling in around this one, so that works out great. Now we're just going to die cut that center one out. Okay. These line up nice. Gina K Designs. Sentiments, dies always line up so nice. She's got such good quality die cuts on her florals, especially. Always line up so nice. So you've got to kind of look at the inside design on these because it's going to be hard to see the outline on this. So look at that inside design, and that inside design goes right to the edge of the opening. So I shouldn't really have much gap on that stamp. Okay? That's coming to the edge just a little too close for comfort. I wonder if I can cheat just a tiny bit. That came a little close. For me, I didn't realize that stem was that far out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to leave that stem out when I cut this, and see if that'll work. So we're going to just tape this down pretty good here. I'm going to rotate this now to see if I can leave that stem out by doing this. Okay? So I want to cut everything else up to that stem to pop up. And I'm going to go right to the little hump there, like so. Keep my fingers crossed that this will work. Alright. Usually one pass with her dies is plenty as well. So let's just keep our fingers crossed that I got a nice cut on that and it doesn't look funky and wonky by leaving that stem out. Oh, actually, you know what? What I can do here is that is still kind of staying in there. I can pop that up and lay these decorative pieces down, and so it's like a three-dimensional. So I think that's what we're going to do. All right, let me just get this out, and we're going to cut back here once I kind of lay this back in place. Okay, before I glue this down, I kind of want to show you what's happened here and why I've changed my mind. That stem got too close, and if I cut that, it might have cut that little piece of paper in half, and I didn't want that. So I tried not to cut that, and I thought this would pop out, and it would. If I cut a little slit right there, this whole piece will pop out, and I was going to pop this up on dimensionals. But I thought the way this cut, if you look, I popped all my little pieces out, and this is still attached. But how cool would this be as if this is just starting to float off the paper and my design is stuck behind, right? So I'm going to glue this piece down, centered on my mat that I'm going to use, glue this piece down, then I'm going to just put this back in place, puzzle piece this back together, and then have this just like it's starting to peel off the paper. I love this, you guys. I love this. This little concept I just love. Look at how that peeks in. It's laying, it's the color staying there and the feathers going with, right? Yeah, I love this. Okay, we're going to quit guying over this and let's just assemble the rest of my card. Let's get out our template. That just is just weeping at my hearts on that one. That one's just so beautiful. Okay. Card number 8, my background with my purple. So I've got the gray card base. This light gray is going to be this. And then I've got this piece. So I did my little black piece here is that little pale pink that I had used on the sentiment on the last card. And I'm using it on the sentiment on this card. This little DSP paper, this is the back side with the label. This one's going forward. Double checking that as I'm laying these out. Okay, we'll center. This one just lays down right here. So we're going to just make sure I've got even 3 borders. As we lay this down. Like so. Get that little piece out of there. Come on. There we go. Okay. Now, this is the piece that's going to lay here. I think I'm going to do a little bit of purple around the edge here to give it some shadow. We're going to pop this up with my sentiment. So I'm going to take that same concept, but I'm going to take my darker purple this time with a light hand and just go around the edge. Light hand, because I don't want a lot of color, but I know the other one was getting pretty dry and I don't want to re-ink it and get it too juicy. I'm just going to go light hand to get a little purple right around the edge of this one. And I know this is a little deeper grapier purples that are on here, but by keeping it light, it's not going to be too bright for me. Just running it to get a little shade on there to frame this little piece that we're popping up. That way there's a little differential between that. It'll pop off the card base. I'm going to bring this in just a little bit. I'm just pressuring just a little bit extra to pull some of that ink down and in. And if you can just visually see this slowly appear in front of your eyes versus just pop on there, you're doing it right. It should just slowly all of a sudden start appearing on that paper and you know you're doing it right. I'm going to take a tiny bit of green on this one and do the same thing. I'm going to do my medium green, which is usually my matchas, my martinis and things. Same thing. Extremely light hand on this. And I just want to throw a little bit of color to get this to pop off each other. That's it. Add that little extra of oomph and zhuzh and dimension. That's it, okay? Now, let me grab some of my dimensionals. So I'm going to use strips on this one. So that just adheres down nice. Like so. One more little strip there. Get that corner tacked down, actually. No use saving that little scrap, so let's throw that in there. Might as well use it. And then we'll just take that sentiment and throw the sentiment, I think, let's hope, might fit over that stem piece, like this is peeling out of the sentiment. But we'll see. And I might just tape, or not tape, but glue that down. Alright, let me give myself a little wiggle room until I get this where I need it or want it. Time to fill my glue, I can feel it. Okay, up this way, center that, nice, peel this back up. Oh, that's perfect. It's like that's coming right out of the sentiment. Actually, that is perfect. I'm going to glue that down. I'm not going to pop that up on anything. Beautiful mistake. Absolutely beautiful mistake. I know I have a little overlap give because I haven't put this on the card base yet. Okay, let's get this on my card base. I have not pre-stamped this, so I like to put my own little stamp on here. My little handmade stamp. Let's throw this on here. And I don't think I want to stamp the inside of this one. I think I want to carry my little floral DSP to the inside of this one, actually. Since it's sitting here, I'm going to cut a couple more of those little florals to glue on the inside of that, I think. Okay, I cut out another one of these out of the same paper. I've just cut it in half, and I'm just going to throw this on the inside. Rather than throw a feather or a stamp in there, why not just carry a little DSP to the inside? And I think it fits. It blends, it matches, and I used up another piece of scrap, which y'all know I love my scraps to use up. So that's it. Easy. I've got my sentiment here. I'm not going to throw a sentiment on the inside. This way it leaves plenty of room all around that DSP to do a little writing on the inside of this card. Let's throw this on the inside. We're going to use that Nuvo drops that I've used on those first couple cards because I just love those Nuvo drops. Haven't used that color since I bought these, and I love that color. So I'm going to just throw a couple here, and then I'm going to do a couple up around here. So couple around my sentiment just to cover up a little bit of this powder that got a little crazy on me. And then I'm going to go just around my feather here a little bit with a couple. Like so. That might be just, I think, enough. I'm trying to decide. Should I go 1, 2, 3? Nope, that's it. Because I don't, where is it going to go? So I'm going to leave it and quit fussing before I smudge it. Alright, you guys, this is card number 8. And I will have to tell you, one of my most favorite cards I think I've made in a long time. Okay. Here we are for card number 9, and as you can see, we've got some texture going here. So this white piece is a white a panel of your choice that's saying embossed panel, so we've embossed that. I've got my DSP, 2 little strips of your own 5 1/4 by 1/4 inch, and then I might have measured those wrong, so I might have to redo those little pieces, and then just any large object. So here's what I have done. We're going to start with the inside base here. I have taken those feather dies, cut one out. Well, I've cut two out actually, but out of this paper that I used for the last sentiment. Okay, so this was not part of my original paper. It's from that paper pack, but not one of the papers I chose. But I'm using this for one of my feathers. So I knocked everything out. We're just going to use the outline for this on the inside. I didn't do any stamping with this one. I just wanted to do the die cuts of these feathers and use these in a different way. So no stamping with the feathers this time. But I have puzzled these together, and you'll see when I get the other piece out here what I have done. I've used the inside of this feather for the cover. All right, and here I'm just going to throw this way on the inside of my card. Like so. All right, tap that down, let that dry, and I just cut this little piece of the stem off, like so. All right, that's the inside of my card base. So same card base, same gray color. I've stamped the back with my stamp, and we'll throw this on the inside. Cover of this one, really easy. I have prepped everything for this one because I just knew that the puzzling of the feathers would get a little labor intensive and just a little bit much to kind of sit and watch. But I'll tell you the process of it. Okay? All right, that's my inside. I'm just carrying that feather. And if you get up close to it, you can kind of see it's got the texture and the flowers and stuff from that DSP. Okay? Now this cover. My embossed piece, I'm sticking with that same lavender. I have used the woven embossing folder from Simon Says Stamps, so I've got like a little basket weave. I took that same purple I've been using, the Serene, and I have just lightly gone over it to give it a little bit of pop. It's a little blurry looking because that's just what it did when I rubbed this over. That's okay. I'm just looking to make this pop behind my DSP. Now that strip goes right here. So we're going to lay this strip right down the center of this. This is the back side. I've got that numbered. So this was supposed to be the front side with the scripty script. Facing up on this one. And you're just going to center this on your card. Just like so. All right. Then it says large object laying over the top. So now what I've done is I have cut out these feathers 4 times. I've cut them out twice in this DSP, and I've cut them out twice in the purple because I'm using the purple to do the outline, and I knocked out the middles out of that DSP, and I've puzzled it together for these 2 pieces. Okay, so those are going to get popped up on dimensionals, but I need to lay my sentiment here first. So I did a 1.5 inch strip, and I put feathers appear when angels are near from this same stamp set, and I'm going to lay this across this way. So what I want to do is figure out where I want this band first, and then I'll just mark and cut, and then I'm going to lay these leaves as my large object in and around that. Okay, so I'm going to take this down to right about like so, and I'm just going to mark my back on where to cut, and I'm actually going to slim this down just a tiny bit. So to cut this, I'm going to cut this on my lines here first so I keep that same angle that I need, just like so, and then do this one just like so. Now I just want to take a tiny bit off of each side of this to get it just a little closer to my sentiment. Like so on that one, and then I'll just line this one up here, probably about center right there. I'm going off my guide at the same time just to make sure I've got it straight, and then I'll hold this down. Not too bad. Okay? Alright, now what I want to do is I'm just going to give this a little bit of gray to make this pop just a tiny bit. So I'm going to take that same gray, and actually I'm just going to take my gray brush like I did the last time. It could be dark on here. I don't think I have a light gray one. I do not have a light gray one. So we're just going to go super, super light with this. No pressure whatsoever. And I'm just going to lay a tiny bit of gray around the edge of this. Just a little bit to frame this little piece out so it's just not so monotone. I'm just going to keep going over it lightly until that color just starts to grab. Okay? It's going to have just a little, actually what I'm going for is just have it a little smoky kind of look to it. And do that on all four edges of this. You got to be patient. Just let that ink keep building up versus put too much pressure and get it too dark and splotchy. So you can keep that nice and soft. I tend to be a little heavy-handed. I know I've said that before. So that's where I just have to kind of talk it out loud too to keep myself in check at the same time, because sometimes you get impatient when you're like, just get it done. And that was just enough to give it just a little smokiness around the edge. Alright, let's just glue this piece down here first, and then the feathers we will be popping up on dimensionals. Alright, let's just get this down about center, roughly center. Like so, and just get that edge to edge. I might need to cut a little bit more off of that one edge. I didn't bring this down quite far enough. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Alright, now these feathers will just pop in just like so. Okay, so we'll pop these up. So the most that took time on this card, to be honest, was just the puzzling of those feathers. Because I had to die cut it out several times and then piece out two of them. I kept the scraps though. All the scraps of the other ones I've kept so I can use the scraps to make another one with feathers. And I'll just puzzle that together. Alright, and I'm just going to throw a little halvesy piece right down at the bottom here, like so. And then this just pops on to your card base, and then you have card number 9. So this one actually goes pretty quick, except for that puzzling of these feathers together. It actually didn't take too long. I mean, probably total. I had to cut the backs out, so I did take this as my template, traced it on scratch pieces of paper, and then I just did a rough cut of it, so I had a backing that I could glue these down to. So what you're seeing here on the white is scrap that I could glue and puzzle this together with. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this down here first to my card base, and then we'll put these feathers on. I actually like this layout because I like being able I like the embossing part of it and throwing the texture, and then that large object. It gets you thinking about what you can put on that back side and blend all this together. Stuck to my knuckles there. Just center this a little bit better. Like so, and because of that embossing, I'm just going to lay my little heavy object on here to get some tack going. Well, I put some glue on these to give myself a little wiggle room while I place them. Alright, grab these with tweezers. Now, I think I had them kind of this direction, and I might go I like how that kind of frames this way, where the curves on the inside around that sentiment. So I'm going to try to make these curves frame that sentiment just a little bit. Okay. And then, so I'm offsetting it from that center just a tiny bit. Whoop, 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 just to frame my sentiment somewhat. Come on. There we go. All right, you can kind of see I try to go even here and then around there. I'm digging that a lot. Okay, now let's just take some of those Nouveau drops. And I'm just going to go, I think I'm going to go kind of some dots here and here to frame out my ribbon here, my banner. Just like so. There we go. Ooh, I like that. All right, let me just zoom in. Card number 9. Love these feathers. Love, love, love these feathers. And then I've got the inside die cut on that one. Okay, card number 9. Okay, here we are on card number 10. Last card for the second set of 5. And this one here, you can see some big pieces to lay out. So we've got our paper D in the back. That's that red that'll go in the card base. Then we've got that 3 1/4 by 4 1/2 gray one that we can do at our Liberty. The black dots at our Liberty, and then this white panel at our Liberty. So let's just start assembling and show you the last few things we're going to do on this card. All right, this was my panel, and I'm going to cut this down just a tiny bit because it's just a little bit large, the way I cut it out for this panel that's going to sit all over the base of this. So I'm just going to cut this down just a tiny bit on 2 of these sides so that just sits inside of my card base just a little bit nicer, like so. Happy with that. All right, I think it's time to change that blade. I have stretched that blade out as much as I can without it really starting to shred. So after this card, that blade's got to get changed. So I'm going to lay this panel down here first so we can just start layering up on top of that. And I've got one stamping piece that we're going to do on this card. All right, just get some tack on that. Now here's the inside of my card. I did my same 5 by 3 3/4 panel. I did just take a little bit of the Serene, same purple, just zoom out here just a tiny bit, and went around the edges with that. Then I took the extra die cut that I had, put that down, and then I did fill that one in. So the dark gray is this paper, and then I just filled it in with that lavender that we've been using. Okay? All right, now that we've got our big panel down, we're going to lay down this panel over it. And I'm not going to pop this one up on dimensionals at all, but I am going to take a little bit of Serene and do the edges of this one as well. So I did ink this up because my brush has gotten pretty dry and I do want some color shown on this. And I'm doing this just to get some separation from my layers because these ones are kind of layered up pretty good. Like so. Now we take our 2 designer pieces, and I had, oh here it is, it's stuck over here, that go in the corners. All right. And I'm just going to grab, I find it easier with some of these pieces to grab a tweezer so that I can aim these down just a little bit better. And what I'm doing is just making sure that I've got even border on both sides, and then I'll match that border on this one. And then same here, and I'm actually going to rotate this. It was easier to go this way, just like so. And I'm just looking at the other piece that I put down, get as close to that border as I can so that they're matching. Like so. Now, this piece goes over this piece like this. So I am going to ink blend this piece with some gray. So I am going to get out that gray and get out my gray that I have been using. Let's see where my pebble went here. Alright, just take that pebble and I'm inking it up because, again, the brush has gotten pretty dry from all the other inking that I've been doing. So but the pebble's pretty light, so it's not too smoky, but it is pretty light. Alright, now what I'm going to do with this piece here, and this is on my sheet, this is my white piece right there that you can do with what you want, but I've made it purple because what I'm going to do is I am just going to do some tone on tone with a feather, okay? And I think I'm going to go this one because I haven't used this one very much in this set of 5, and I'm just going to start putting this feather all over this piece of paper in my purple tone. So I'm just going to go tone on tone. It's a light purple, so that actually stamped out, shows pretty good, but I'm going to probably do this a couple times like that. Okay, now I'm just going to reposition. Get these out of the way before I ruin them. I'm going to reposition this. Like so. And keeping it tone on tone. And then those little pieces that are left, I'll probably just take the edge or the very tip of that feather and kind of fill in those gaps. Okay, got a little fingerprint there, but I'm not worried about it because I'm throwing a feather over the top of that piece. So this one's going to go right like so. And we're right there on that edge. Fingerprint gone. One little stamp and that takes care of that little fingerprint. Okay. I'll turn this so I can just get a little bit more right in that little piece. I just love the fact of creating your own designer paper. I just love that. And we're actually just going to go, I think we're going to go this way. Bring this so that I can get to it. Perfect. Get that little piece in there. And then everything else we're done with. We'll just assemble. And I'll show you what I've done with my sentiment on this one. I just got my sentiment pre-ready. Alright, that's my tone-on-tone little piece that we're going to do there. That gets glued onto this background piece that is showing on my layout. Then what I've done as my little add-on, so let's just assemble this so you can see it up to that point. We'll get my inside base in here. This is going here. On the inside. Good. Tack that down. This one here now just goes over this one, like so. And this card is probably going to end up this way, I believe, because of the way I did my sentiment. Let me just double check my sentiment, because I've got this here, and then my sentiment I did a small little gray piece. So yeah, that's got to go this way. Yeah, I could go this way too, I think, with it. I think I'm going to keep it this way. Yeah, we're going to go this way. I'll just double check. No, it does look better that way with that belly band I put on there. So, we're going to glue this piece down, flat to the card, pop that little one up on dimensionals. So center this one. Like so. Get my dimensionals for this one. Alright. So once I get these together, this will be fun to see all these now all together, just to see how this theme kind of carried throughout. So this now will layer on top of this piece, and then that is the card except for the three black dots, which we're going to do those nouveau drops that we've been doing to match everything else. So alright. And then I've just got myself 5 sympathy cards that I will probably keep these for myself and keep on hand. Alright, so now this is going to get centered here. Like so. Then I created a little gray band, just a little darker, so it matches these pieces a little bit better, and brings me another color into this. And then that sentiment goes right over the top, which is the same color as my base. I just did a little smoky and little lavender around it. This is the same sentiment. Feathers appear when angels are near. I stamped it in the same purple 3 times. Then I did emboss it with clear embossing, just to brighten that up just a tiny bit. So we'll belly band this piece. And throw our sentiment right over the top. No more dimensionals, because I feel like this piece is popping up already enough without adding more. And you guys still get it in the envelope, right? So just center that. Like so. And there's your card. Now what I'm missing here are these 3 dots. So if I turn this, this is my card. I've added the belly band and the sentiment here on the top, and then we're going to go 3 drops and 3 drops on that side as well, and bring in that same color that I've been using for all of these cards. And I just got myself a little drop on there. You get little air bubbles in there, so you gotta kind of sometimes do a little dot off on a scratch piece of paper and get those air bubbles out of there. So I'm doing my ends first, and then the center in the middle. Same on this side. I'll do those ends first, and then center that one in the middle. And there we have it. There is our final card. Let me turn this the right way. Now the only downside is I originally set this to go this way, but that's okay. That leaf still works where it is because I've got plenty of room to write. So let's just zoom in a little bit for you. Get that to focus. Alright, there you go. There is card number 10. Card number 6 with my sentiment and feather stamped inside. Then we had, let me just double check my my thing here. That was 6. Then this was 7. This was 8. And remember, this is the one that was kind of that mistake, but then I'm going to leave that popped up. I just love this one. 8. Then we had 9. Try not to touch those Nuvo drops if they're not fully dry. 9 and 10. I love this color combination. I love these feathers, just soften this whole look up. And I think these are great for sympathy cards. You've just got still some good texture in them. So I'll hold these up. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. There we have it. This is our second set of 5, so 6 through 10 for February. Kendra's Card Challenge number 17. So happy with these. So happy with these. The color combinations are really pretty. In person, these are just amazing. So I'm hoping the camera captured how much, how well they look. So thanks for hanging with me till the very end, and we'll do our last 5 coming up here in a few days for February. All right, until next time, I'll see you then.